It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, it's showtime. What's happening, everybody? The Geno Jones Show. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. You and everybody you know. Check out the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Subscribe, share, like, and binge watch all my back episodes. I appreciate you for watching if you're watching me live. So let me say this off the very top. If you missed yesterday's show, it is must-see TV. I don't care what you plan to watch tonight. After this live show ends, I'm going to need you to go back, and I'm going to need you to tell everybody, or as my man Nelly would say, everybody, you know, if you believe in freedom, if you want to protect your freedoms, all of your rights, your civil rights, your voting rights, women's rights, if you want to protect your health, your money, yesterday's show is must-see TV because Election Day is exactly 3 weeks from today. 21 days from today, November 8th, is Election Day. However, in many states, like Georgia, Election Day started yesterday. Vote early. And it's a real simple choice. Like I said, this election is about not mine. This is all of us, but it's about your freedom. So I'm empowering you, and that's what I talked about last night. I'm not going to mention any names tonight. I didn't last night. I don't have to, because I've done it enough. Now, you've got the power, like this song by Snap back in the 90s. I got the power. You got the power. This election is about your freedom and your family's freedoms. Like I said, your women's rights, the freedoms of your daughters and your granddaughters and your sisters and your nieces and maybe your spouses, maybe you. Your health and your money. Because your freedoms is connected. I draw a straight line. When you lose all your freedoms, your reproductive rights, your civil rights and voting rights, it affects your health and your money. It could cost you your life. It could cost you your money to lose everything you got. All right? It's real out here in these streets, you all. So, must-see TV, Monday night's edition, special monologue, no guest last night, but tonight, I got a regular contributor. He is one of my political contributors to the Geno Jones Show. You've seen him many times. But before I bring him on, I want to say this. Happy birthday to Brittney Griner, WNBA superstar. She was the WNBA MVP. She won a WNBA championship. She turned 32 today. And she turned 32 inside of a Russian jail. Free Brittney Griner. I know the game you playing, Vladimir. Free Brittney. Your beef ain't with Brittney. Be a man about it, like Tony Braxton says. Don't play games with this sister. She went over there 6-7 years and played in your country for your professional basketball team, won them a championship. You all loved her then, but now you're using her as a political pawn. Your beef ain't with Brittney. Free Brittney Griner. Free all the Americans, too. Free that sister. Send her home. My guest, Geno Jones Show contributor. He is the community advocate and co-founder of the Black Parents Association and the co-founder of Community Solutions Consulting Company. Welcome once again to the show. This is my man. Y'all better get ready. I hope y'all got your asbestos suit on, because he got the torches. It's about to get hot up in here. A.J. Davis, my man. I purposely, you notice, it was a relatively short monologue, because I'm going to do the rest of my birthdays after. But I want, and as a matter of fact, really, everything I really wanted to say today, I said it yesterday. This election is about your freedom, your health, and your money. It really is. And ask yourself, who wants to protect your freedoms, your health, and your money? And a part of that is the education of your children that's going to affect their health. Definitely their mental health, which is directly connected to their physical health. School board elections. A lot of people take them for granted. You've talked about them. So today, I'm going to give you the floor because I know you want to speak about school board elections, because a lot of this misinformation, disinformation, and the normalizing of hate and bigotry and misogyny and sexism and phobias and hatreds in all of its forms begins in our schools. AJ, brother, take it away.
Once again, thank you, Geno. Thank you so much for sharing this platform. And I got to give you your flowers while you can still smell them, brother, because a lot of folks don't do what you do. A lot of folks who have media platforms, whether it's social media, traditional media, do not amplify the voices of those of us on the front lines out here trying to do the unglamorous work of helping our communities, informing our communities, empowering our communities. And to you, brother, I will forever say thank you so much, humbly, from the bottom of my heart.
Well, I received that, and coming from you, that means a lot, because you are out there in those streets, as they say, the kids say, and you've been out there in those streets on the front lines. You continue to be on the front lines, and I know some days it gets tough and we all get discouraged, and sometimes, sometimes the enemy is in our own house. But you know what? When we find that out, we know what to do. We know what to, either they got to move or we got to move, but it can't stop, because this is bigger than all of us. Like I said, This election is about your freedoms, your family's freedoms, your health, and your money. But what our babies learn and can't learn is very important. And you are an expert, especially on these school board races. So like I said, brother, I appreciate the flowers, but hey, man, listen, I'm not cutting into your time. There's some very important things that you want to educate the public about. So please take it away.
So, because I'm locally here in Charleston, South Carolina, I want to first say that I'm going to talk a lot about what's happening on the ground here, but I want to make a shameless plug for any of your listeners that are in other states. If you have not done so, check your ballot. You should have access to a website. I know Ballotpedia is a national website, but your state election commission or your county election commission should also have a link for you to check your ballot. So if you have never heard of them, you don't know anything about them, Google them. Put them in a search engine for Facebook. Find out who they are. Find out if they got a campaign page. Send them a request for information. Because in this day and age, it is going to be up to each of us to educate ourselves on those that want to represent us. And I'm going to use that term very loosely. We make the assumption that because a person is running for office, that they want to represent all of us, and that's not the case. All right?
Say it.
That's not the case. Right now, I need your listeners, and specifically the Black community, to understand that just because an individual is running for office does not mean they are running to represent you. We love to use the term representation matters, and it does, but we have to understand where representation matters and who it matters to, because unfortunately, we've got a party, in this case, the Republican Party, but the Democrats are guilty of this as well, who have figured out that sometimes just putting a black face in place is enough to sway some of us. And the problem that I have with that is this. That is a direct insult to the intelligence of thinking black people. And the Republicans for years have accused the Democrats of pandering and doing those type things. And now we see in 2022 with people like Herschel Walker being propped up like that. We see here in South Carolina, Senator Tim Scott, who, by all accounts, is a black man in blackface only. He does not, no matter how much pandering he's done in this last year, he does not rally around black issues or the black community. And quite frankly, it's disgusting now to watch him and his current campaign pitch as if to say that Democrats and those of us who are on the opposite end of the political spectrum are now trying to vilify him when he's the one that has been a member of a party that has played race politics. But I'm going to pause right there. School board. If you want to know what is arguably one of the most important offices that impacts black life in America, it is the office of school board members. Why? Because they make the decisions that shape and mold the policies that govern our children's educational journey in the public education system. Okay, long before COVID, long before this year, black people oftentimes have taken for granted the office of school board. Now what we're seeing, Geno, is all of these same special interest groups who have always had their hands in higher level offices like your governors, your U.S. congressional races, and of course the presidency. They now want the whole enchilada. They want school board, county council, city council, town council. They want your state house races. They want your sheriff's offices. They want control of everything. And for people who keep thinking that voting doesn't matter, it won't if you allow them to get what they want. And so I'm going to say something, and I hope the listeners and watchers of this video truly understand. At this particular point, what happened to George Floyd? What happened to Ahmaud Arbery? What happened to Breonna Taylor? What happened to Sandra Bland? What happened to John Crawford? What happened to Alton Sterling? And of course, sadly, the list goes on and on. All of that will pale in comparison if we allow school board races around the country to be overtaken by people who side with folks like Donald Trump, the organizers of the Charlottesville rally, the January 6th insurrectionists, because those people are the people running for these offices. Those people are the people running for local office. They want to be on the school board. Right here in Charleston, South Carolina, we've got a slate of candidates for Moms for Liberty, a group that has been attacking the authentic teaching of of history and public education nationally. They celebrate that. They say that they're for parents' rights, but what they don't tell you is they're for white parents' rights. And yes, they have some non-white members, but those non-white members identify with whiteness. They use the same recycled conservative talking points. And let me say this for the brothers and sisters on the block. You may not think at this particular moment that voting does anything to impact your life in any way, shape, form, or fashion, unless you have financial stability where you own your home. You have a job that you have some semblance of job security. You have financial assets in the bank that can help you withstand a financial downturn. Unless you can say yes to those three things, trust and believe, this midterm election will dictate your future as well as the future of your children, because right now they're coming for everything. They're coming for the hood. The hood ain't safe. We like to think that, oh, The hood is the hood, and we got that as black people. Go look in any major metropolitan city in America right now and go to the hood and tell me what you see. We talk about gentrification, but what we also don't talk about is what happens to the communities and the people who are displaced by gentrification. You know who governs the policies that dictate how planning and zoning goes, that shifts blacks out of certain communities? The same politicians that many of us don't take the time to research and vote for. Those individuals, and I'm going to say this here, and this is the blunt truth for my brothers and sisters. They love when y'all say voting don't matter. They love when you don't participate in local elections. They love when you stand out here or you jump on social media and you disparage the political apparatus, because you know what that means? That means they can guarantee that you won't be in the fight against them. They can guarantee that you won't be a part of the pushback. We love to live in this fanciful world as if, oh, well, black people just need to do for ourselves, when we ain't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out, because we have not made the significant investment in our local political apparatuses. All right? Remember, we all pay taxes, whether it's sales tax, income tax, property tax. And as such, we are also due access to those funds in the same way that everybody else that calls themselves an American is due. And it's time for us to become politically mature and learn how to access that. On the public education front, now I want to go back to this. Our children are already at a disadvantage in the current public education system. If we allow the factions that are trying to get access to school boards around the country, especially here in Charleston and in South Carolina, as well as all these other southern states, then we might as well write off not this future generation, but the next 10. Because they are going to make sure it's not just going to be about the history, it's going to be about the identity of black people and our role in America. They want to create a defined caste system. All right, and we have to understand, he who controls your mind controls your destiny. And so we have to understand, we have to get out of old habits. We have to get out of this naysayer mentality because we don't understand the political process. That's what this is about, Geno. It's a lot of folks who sit, and I watch them, they pontificate on social media. They can give you a ghetto analogy of why it doesn't matter to vote. But if you ask them to run down from local to national all of the people who represent them